What's going on, everybody? KSA Kris here, the Real Estate Blitz. Today, I wanted to talk real quick about Zillow a little bit. I know it's a dirty word to some, but the reality is Zillow is a de facto standard. And what I mean by de facto is whether you like it or not, people use Zillow to look up the values of their homes, to potentially sell their homes. There's all sorts of stuff. Zillow's used. Zillow, Trillia, Redfin is catching a lot of weight recently in the market that we're in. And it's disturbing to me. Redfin's probably like Zillow. I get it. Redfin bothers me a lot, but it is what it is. It's important that you consider Zillow or other platforms as you get a little bit of money. The question is, how do you consider it? I know some people have listened to my views on impressions and all that other jazz. I'm not going to talk about that today. What I'm going to talk about is, if you're anti-Zillow, what could you or should you be using with Zillow to better your business, to help you out? And I want to talk a little bit about that. Not everybody's down with paying money for impressions, and I think it's Zillow's fault that this happened. They create, when you start talking to them, they create this scarcity as if, well, there's only so many impressions that happen in any given market. So if you purchase X number of impressions in this market, then you will be number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1. So you're paying a certain amount of money and you're number 1. Well, they say all this great stuff. They hook you, they get you, and you're like, all right, I'm in. Fish hooks in, and next thing you know, it's like a month, 2 months in, and they're like, wow, it's really slowed down. What happened? Ugh, man, you moved to number 12. Number 12. Holy crap! I was number 1 like 2 months ago. What happened? Well, turns out, I don't know, mysteriously, there's more people. So, but we can get you to number 1 again. Now it's going to cost you more money, but we can get you there. You want to be number 1 again? We hook you up, and then so like every other month you're getting a phone call saying, hey, you want to talk to more people, right? Well, it's going to cost you more money. And it's just it's a never-ending battle. It's really irritating. It's not something that you just turn on and kind of walk away from and get a certain amount of deals. However, what I started finding, if you're a listing agent, like I only do listings, man, there are some cool stuff that you can do with it. What we do is we actually pay about $300 a month. I think it's 300, maybe it's a couple dollars over 3. Anyways, around there, $300 a month. And it gives us premier status on Zillow and Trillia. The reason why that's important, when you walk in and you talk to a client, everybody knows about Zillow. Everybody knows about Trillia, right? So they're going to ask questions about that. And it's nice to be able to say, first off, I just want to let you know I'm a premier agent on Zillow and Trillia, so I can ensure that your property is always going to be showcased. 1, right? So, oh, good, fantastic, because a lot of agents aren't. They just, because they're thinking that they got to pay for all these impressions to become that. You don't. It's $300. But it only really works if you're a listing agent. I'm going to be very blunt. If you're a buyer's agent or you aren't working with any listings, don't listen to this strategy. It's just not for you. I don't know. It could be. But you're wasting your money. If you're good with that, a lot of agents are good with wasting their money. So if you're good with that, way to go. Spend away. But it gives you, if you're getting impressions, you only get 5 premier properties. So you can actually showcase 5 properties. If you're just paying the $300 a month, you get 10 properties. So I'm able to showcase 10 of our listings that we have at any given time. And that's important. Next one, I'm able to go out and do videos off of this little bad boy right here. I just walk around, take my video, right? And whoop, bops it right back up to the top of the list. Bops it right to the top. Every time you pop a new video, it drops it right up on top as if it was a brand new listing on Zillow and Trillia. Next one, coming soons are huge. We try to make sure to gain as much exposure before we go on the market by putting a property on a coming soon on Zillow 1 to 2 weeks before it actually goes on the market. 1 to 2 weeks before it goes on the market, we're putting it up as a coming soon. We take a nice photo of the exterior of the home, we post it up, and we just get a ton of agents calling us. We get a ton of people calling us. We get a ton of buyers off of it. And and the big one is we just drive up the interest of that property before it ever hits the market. So we can put on their projected price, we can put on there when it's coming on the market, everything. And we put 12 up, 11 or 12 up last month, and 7 of them are in escrow. And a lot of that is because we're dropping it on Zillow. So if you want a positive thing about Zillow, and I don't say many positive things, just the amount of interest that you can create with paying $300 a month, it's awesome. To me, it pays for itself. The buyer leads that come in off of our own listings, because again, 10 of those that I put up there are only showcasing the person that's paying for it. So if it's me, it's 10 of my listings are going to only show me whenever somebody searches for it and they find it in Zillow. They're only calling me. They're only reaching out to me. If they have interest or want to communicate or talk with an agent, they only come to me. They don't go to any other agent. They're not in competition with any other agent. And to me, that's a huge win. I don't want other people making money off of my listings if I can make money off of my own listings. So anyways, that was just an idea I want to bounce off you. Zillow isn't completely bad, but it is the devil. I'm joking, sort of. But yeah, so some ideas if you're really getting into it and you want to check out Zillow, that's my thoughts. That's all I got today. Do me a favor, like, share, comment. Check me out as usual on Facebook. Check me out on YouTube, The Real Estate Blitz. If you haven't subscribed to the channel on The Real Estate Blitz, please do. I'd appreciate it, right? And go check me out on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, you can, it's KSA Kris, Kris with a K. And that's kind of like my dailies, my life, me, kids, stuff like that. That's all I got. All right, appreciate y'all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.